I'm here at the overseas call centre of a large insurance company. With me is customer service team leader Mr. Bolte. Mr. Bolte, how easy is it to provide great insurance service to your customers?
Well, we're on another continent. You can never get through. We've no idea who you are, and we're only allowed to work from a script with the information on the screen in front of us. Frankly, you'd be better with High House.
High House Insurance, your local experts. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call Celsey 606 552. High House, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Celsey.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Manhood Internet Radio. I'm Tony Weiner, your host for this show. So, what has our trawler of information gathered for you this week, I wonder? First out of the net, we have Alison with our weather forecast and tide times, and I have to say that her seaweed was spot on last week. Then it will be time to have our homework marked as Keith reveals the answers to last week's quiz. Alison pops back to update us on events in Celsey, and then Simon McGee is in the studio with Keith talking about his memory cafe project, and that is a very interesting and important piece of work. Alison will be back with what's on in Bracklesham and the Witterings. We thought we would get off lightly this week, but no, as a terror of the brain, Kevin returns with another brain teaser. That should have put us in a good frame of mind for the welcome return of Andy Stevens with an interesting piece on choices. Right then, I can see a piece of seaweed, so it must be Alison with a forecast, otherwise I am in trouble.
Time now to have a look at the weather on the Manhood Peninsula for the forthcoming week. So as usual, I've done it in old-fashioned Fahrenheit and up-to-date Celsius. Hope you can make head and tail of what I'm talking about. On Wednesday the 22nd, we can expect a high of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius, light cloud cover, 14 mile an hour south-southwesterly wind. On Tuesday the 23rd of March, temperatures holding steady, sunny though with a 12 mile an hour wind northerly. A little bit warmer on Friday the 24th with a high of 54 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 degrees Celsius. Sunny intervals are promised, 10 mile an hour north-northwesterly wind. On Saturday the 25th, slight dip in temperature, 52 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 degrees Celsius. Again, sunny intervals, higher wind speed 13 miles an hour, but it's going to be a northeasterly, so I think that will probably feel a little bit colder. Then on Sunday the 26th, same temperatures, same sunny intervals, 13 mile an hour wind again, northeasterly this time. So that's it for the weather. Let's have a look at the tide tables. Wednesday the 22nd, a low at 12:20 at lunchtime and a high at 6:45 in the evening. Changing throughout the week, finishing on Tuesday the 28th with a high at 12:25 at lunchtime and a low at 6:15 in the evening. Now David, our regular gardener you may enjoy listening to, has asked me to introduce something new to my slot. He's asked me to find out when exactly the refuse people will be at the car parks on the Witterings and at East Beach. So I'm going to do my research and all being well I'll be able to start that as a regular slot next week, so watch out for that one. I'll speak to you again next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you, Alison, and she will be back later. And now we go over to Keith for the answers to last week's quiz.
And here we have the answers to last week's quiz when Kevin asked us who wrote the books about the Wizard of Oz, and that was Frank L. Baum. Which family did Paddington Bear live with? That was the Browns. Who led the mutiny on the Bounty? That was, of course, Fletcher Christian. Where did Bournemouth FC play their home games? That's at Dean Court. And what part did Gillian Talforth play in EastEnders? And that was, of course, Cathy Bill. And the connection, a very local one indeed, they're all Celsey town councillors. That's Glenda Baum, Andy Browns, John Fletcher, Christine and Mike Bill. Tough one, that one, wasn't it?
Oh dear, never mind. We pass quickly to our ace reporter Alison with an events roundup in the Celsey area.
Hello and welcome once again to our weekly look at what's going on in Celsey. First of all, Wednesday the 22nd of March. All day on the 22nd at the Celsey Centre, the National Blood Transfusion are going to be there. That's from 2 o'clock until 4:30 and from 5:30 until 7:45. So if you want to give blood, that's where you need to be. Also on Wednesday, the Selsey Model Boat Club will be meeting as usual, weather permitting of course. They meet at the pond on East Beach, where they sail radio-controlled boats. New members are always welcome. You need to speak to Chris for that one on 601 550. And of course on Wednesday it's choir. The community choir meet at the Methodist Church in the evening from 7:30 until 9, so that's Wednesday. Then on Thursday morning, mobile soft play session at the Selsey Centre for the under 5s. That's from 10 o'clock until 11:30. Sue or Tom are your contacts there, 604 642. Then in the afternoon, the Selsey Bridge Club meet at Cox's Road, Selsey, which is a friendly group of mixed ability for bridge. If you want some more information, then you can ring Carol on 602250. That's in the afternoon. Walking football at the Academy. If you're over 50 and you fancy taking up football again, but at a much more relaxed pace, then why not go along there? They meet at the Academy between 6 o'clock and 7:30 on Thursdays. Also on Thursdays, Selsey Basketball meet at the Academy Sports Hall. That's for adult basketball between 7 and 8. It's the Cinema Club once again on Thursday. This time, a street cat named Bob. That's £5 at Selsey Town Hall, starting at 7:30. It's a true story concerning an unlikely friendship made between a young homeless busker and a stray ginger cat named Bob. And evidently, this changed both of their lives. So that's a street cat named Bob on Thursday evening. Also on Thursday evening, there's adult kickboxing at the Selsey Centre at 8 o'clock. On Friday the 24th, the Derby and Joan Club meet as usual at St Peter's Church Hall. They have a game of bingo, raffle, a cup of tea and a good old chat. So that's 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock. Also this coming Friday, the U3A have their monthly meeting. They meet at the Selsey Centre. The speaker this time is John Bowers, talking about the criminal justice system. He's entitling his talk, If Only I Knew Then. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? So that's 2:30 until 4:30 at the Selsey Centre for the U3A. Mindful music also takes place on Fridays at the shop in Selsey High Street between 2 o'clock and 3:30. If you're interested in that one, you need to speak to Anna on 07912 609 437. And then on Friday the 24th of March, something very special indeed. There's a grand fireworks display in aid of the Selsey Lifeboat, the RNLI. This is to mark the last display from the lifeboat gantry and slipway. So do go along to that, a spectacular display at the lifeboat. On Saturday the 25th, between 10 and 12, they're having a books and bakes sale at St Wilfrid's Church, Church Road, Selsey. So if you want a bargain, go along there on Saturday. Also on Saturday, as usual, of course, it's the Scouts charity sale and also the Venture Club sale. So plenty of bargains to be had in Selsey on Saturday. Then on Sunday, there's a Discover Medmarie guided walk. You meet at Ernley Car Park, which is an RSPB site. They ask you to join their guides for their first spring walk on the west side of Medmarie. You'll be able to keep an eye out for late winter leavers and early summer arrivals. It's a 4-mile walk combining birds and wildlife, together with Medmarie's history and its creation into the reserve that we see today. Now, booking is essential for that one, £7 a person or £4 if you're an RSPB member. That's between 10:15 and 1:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. Also on Sunday morning, of course, it's the regular Selsey Model Boat Club meeting, again on the pond at East Beach. It's Chris you need to speak to, 801 550. And then in the afternoon, there's a respite tea at Selsey Methodist Church in the High Street between 3 o'clock and 4:30 in the afternoon. On Monday the 27th, Film Club again. This is Movies for Memories this time. And they're showing Hello Dolly. So you should be able to sing along to that one. That's between 1:45 and 1:45. Also on Monday in the evening, 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock, Selsey basketball will be held at the Academy Sports Hall. At 5 o'clock it's for ages 7 to 11 and at 6 o'clock age 12 plus. And then there's netball for all between 6 and 7, also at the Academy, but that one's in the small hall. On Tuesday the 28th between 11 and 12 there's a beginner circuit course at the Selsey Centre, and in the evening between 7 and 8 netball for all at the Academy Sports Hall. As usual on Tuesdays it's mobile soft play. That's between 10 o'clock and 11:30. Sue and Tom, the contacts there, 604 642, and kids kickboxing at the centre for 4 to 6 year olds at 4:30, and for the over 6s at 5 o'clock. So that's it for now, our weekly roundup of Selsey. I'll speak to you again next week. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Alison, and she will be back again later. We now have news of an interesting and important project as we go over to Keith.
Right, with me now I've got a young man called Simon McGee, and Simon's going to be starting up a memory cafe. Simon, what is a memory cafe?
Thank you, Keith. A memory cafe is a series of events that's designed to support those in later life, somewhere accessible for people, their families and their carers, anyone really, to come and enjoy an informal setting and reminisce about things that they've particularly enjoyed in the past.
Now, I take it this is aimed at people with dementia and Alzheimer's, that sort of thing.
Anyone in later life, to be honest. It's going to be what we call a dementia-friendly event, which means for those who are living with this disease or anyone caring for them, they're welcome. We'll have professionally trained staff on hand to support if necessary. But as I say, this is an informal setting. Anyone's welcome in later life. And the first event in particular is we're launching with a lady called Becky Short, who's famous for her singing voice, and will be singing classic songs from World War II. The World War II period. So I think this is going to be an event that lots of people in later life could enjoy.
Is it true to say, I know it applied to my father-in-law, and he was suffering with Alzheimer's, but they do tend to, he could always repeat his army number. He could always remember his army number. So he could remember things from way back, but couldn't remember things that happened fairly recently.
Yes.
Is this a symptom of Alzheimer's or dementia?
So Alzheimer's is one form of dementia. There are hundreds of dementias that have been identified now, but it is a disease. And Alzheimer's disease in particular is the most common form of dementia. And it does progress sort of in reverse, if you like, in terms of the most common symptom is people's short-term memory. That's the thing that someone might seek a diagnosis for, and it might cause them to go and see a GP or families to seek a diagnosis. But people gradually lose their factual memory in reverse order, if you like. So the most recent things, what I had for breakfast this morning, what I did yesterday, or I might forget, but my childhood memories will still be very strong with me. And the other thing to dementia that's very important, which is one of the first things I teach people when they join us, is that emotional memory is very, very strong. It is retained and quite resistant to Alzheimer's disease in particular. So music, for instance, which is, as we all know, stimulates your emotional senses very strongly, is a great way of remembering things, and it's why people with Alzheimer's disease can often be brought to life with music again, if you like, and do remember very well.
I've experienced that myself. Yeah. I've performed at 2 or 3 of the old people's homes. I call them old people's homes. Some of them are younger than me, and they sing along with the songs as if they know every word, but they do seem to know every word.
Yes.
They remember songs from 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and that's I guess that's one of the aims we hope with this event is that it will be somewhere that People who have not been out and about and enjoyed things for some time might get something out of this, and as well as that, it being in the Lamb in West Wittering, it is a lovely pub. It's an informal setting. It's got lots of space for people won't feel put upon, if you like, areas to relax. And with obviously the music in the background and centrally, I suspect it's going to be it'll be a fun event for people to take part in. Yes.
Now, how often is this going to take place?
Initially, we're planning to do this once a month at the end of probably on the last Thursday of every month, from 3 till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So the first one, as you know, is Thursday the 30th of March from 3 till 5 in the afternoon. But as I say, we'll do them once a month to start with, and if there's a lot of interest, we might put them on more often than that.
Okay, well, it sounds, to me, it sounds great. It's catering for people of a certain, well, not necessarily a certain age, but I guess most people that are out there would be of a certain age.
I think it's definitely,
because it affects people.
Yes, I think it's definitely aimed at people in later life who want somewhere to be able to socialise with like-minded people, if you like. So not necessarily only for those who are living with dementia, but certainly anyone in later life really that could enjoy getting out and about and the company of others in an informal setting. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a wonderful idea. Now, if anybody wants to know any more information, how can they contact you?
The best way is to call my number on 01243 884 111. The event is being hosted by Home Instead, which is my company, Home Instead Senior Care, and we care for the elderly in particular in their own homes. So that's the office number. I'll repeat it again. It's 01243 884 111. And please just let us know you're coming. And we can organise transport if people would like to. I have to say the first event will be free of charge. We won't be charging for future events, but we may ask for a small donation in the future, just towards the costs of tea and coffee and cake, that sort of thing. But it will be free first time round. So
well,
please come and join us.
It really does. And if I'm free on the day, actually I'm not, because I'm on holiday. Had I been free on the day, I would have been interested to pop across and have a look.
Please come to a subsequent meeting.
I may well do that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in, Simon, and letting us know about the Memory Cafe.
It's a pleasure.
Obviously, we wish you well with it, because it's a service to local people, and they can get out there and enjoy themselves and socialise.
Absolutely. I think particularly the reason we started it in the Witterings is that I live in East Wittering myself, and I know that there are, Chichester's a long way away, and there are not so many places for people to congregate and get together, and so I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you.
And I wish you well. I'm sure we all wish you well with it, and we'll no doubt contact you in the future and find out how it's all going.
Bless you. Thank you very much.
Thanks once again.
Thank you, gentlemen, and we wish you success with the work. Now it's Alison yet again.
We turn our attention now once again to what's happening at the Witterings and Bracklesham this week. Let's have a look at the regular activities to begin with. On Wednesdays, it's time for table tennis. That's a drop-in and play for adults at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 12. It's also CBT motorcycle training at the barn between 9 and 11, but you do have to pre-book for that one. Later at lunchtime, belly dancing with Step Inside between 1 and 2, and then Zumba with Louise at Bracklesham Barn between 6:30 and 7:30. Surf conditioning at the barn happens between 7:30 and 8:30 every Wednesday. Then on Thursdays, Busy Bugs Toddler Gym meet at the barn 9:30 until 12. And at the Witterings Medical Centre on a Thursday, it's Stitch and Yarn. They meet between 10:30 and 12:30. At East Wittering Library between 11 and 12, it's Knit and Natter. And then between 10 and 12 at West Wittering Memorial Hall, it's the Witterings Master Art Group. There's a Keep Fit exercise class in the afternoon, held at East Wittering Village Hall between 2 and 3. And then over at West Wittering, it's Short Mat Bowls on Thursdays. 10 to 12 and 2 till 4. So 2 sessions there. West Wittering Memorial Hall. Chris is your contact for that. 07788 111325. I'll repeat that number. That's Chris. 07788 111325. Pilates for a mixed ability group between 6 and 7 at East Wittering Village Hall. And there's also private ballroom and Latin classes at 7, again at East Wittering Village Hall. You do have to book for that one on www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. And it's the Junior Youth Club for 8 to 12-year-olds at the Youth Centre between 5 and 6:30. And then the seniors meet after that between 6:30 and 8:30. There's bingo at the British Legion at 7:30 in the evening, and also open mic night at Pond Barn at 8. Now on Fridays, Pilates of course at Bracklesham Barn, 9:30 until 10:30, and in the afternoon, short mat bowls at the barn, 2 until 4. Time for Coastliners line dancing at East Wittering Village Hall on a Friday, 2 until 5, and it's jukebox night at Pond Barn from 7 until midnight. There's also private ballroom and Latin at 7 o'clock at East Wittering Village Hall. Again, booking is essential. www.strictlydancinguk.co.uk. Then on Sundays, the Windrush Church have their regular meeting at Bracklesham Barn between 10:30 and 12:45. And in the evening, of course, it's quiz night at Pond Barn at 8 o'clock. Then Monday mornings we begin with Little Ducklings Mother and Toddler Group at Bracklesham Barn between 9:30 and 11:30, followed with short mat bowls between 10:30 and 1. In the evening at Bracklesham Barn, Zumba takes place with Louise between 6:30 and 7:30, and once again line dancing at East Wittering Village Hall between 7 and 10. If you're interested in something slightly slower paced, what about Yoga with Elaine? That's at Bracklesham Barn between 7 and 8:30. Or if you're feeling energetic, ARO Ladies Beginner Kickboxing with Verity. That's at the barn between 7:30 and 8:30. And then on Tuesdays, the Little Explorers have their Play and Learn Together session at Bracklesham Barn between 10 and 11. And in the afternoon, there's a Strength and Balance class at Bracklesham Barn. 2 sessions there, between 2 and 3, and then between 3 and 4. Later after school, Up for Dance Boys Junior Dance Group at Bracklesham Barn, 3:30 to 4:30, followed by Up for Dance Mishmash for all juniors, between 4:30 and 5:30. There's Tai Chi at Bracklesham Barn between 4 and 5, and of course the Beginner Ukulele Club in the evening, 6:30 to 8:30. The Community Pop Choir rehearse at West Wittering Memorial Hall between 7 and 9. There's badminton at Bracklesham Barn, 7:30 until 9:30, and there's free pool at Pond Barn. That's the regulars. Let's have a look at the specials this week. Wednesday the 22nd, Ukulele Jam. All uke players are very welcome at Bracklesham Barn between 7 and 10. And then on Sunday the 25th, there's a crafts and indoor market being held at Bracklesham Barn. That begins at 10 and should finish at 4. On Tuesday the 28th of March, there's meet and greet at West Wittering Memorial Hall. They meet and greet for coffee, games, homemade soup and a roll between 10:15 and 1 o'clock. So plenty to be doing on the peninsula this coming week. Hope you enjoy some of those activities. I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Thank you, Alison. You deserve a cup of tea now, as we all will, as here comes Kevin.
Hiya, Kevin the Quiz here. This week's quiz connection. 5 general knowledge questions, but what connects all 5 answers? Question number 1. What colour snooker ball has a value of 4 points? What colour snooker ball is worth 4 points? Number 2. In Peter Pan, what is Wendy's surname? Question number 3. Which celebrity chef was married to Charles Saatchi from 2003 to 2013? Question number 4. Superman. What is Superman's human identity? And question number 5. Which royal house on the Isle of Wight was built for Queen Victoria and she sadly died there. Name of the house. So 5 questions. What connects all the answers?
Well done, Kevin, and answers next week, if you give them to us, of course. Now, time for some philosophical musings as we go back to Keith.
And with me now, I've got Pastor Andy Stevens from the Windrush Church. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What have you got for us for this week?
I'd like to talk about choices. Life is full of choices. We make choices more than we make anything else. We can make choices many times each minute. How do we make a choice? It's by our experience and knowledge. Information helps us choose. Wrong information helps us make wrong choices. Good sound information gives us the ability to make informed choices. There are times when information in the form of facts can be different from truth. Take a possible instance of if a woman had a bad experience with a man, she may choose to believe that all men are the same. This is not the truth, but the evidence in her mind, the facts, point that way and sway her judgment. Most people these days seem to see facts as something that cannot be combated with reason, for it is logic itself. And truth is something related to a person's perspective and experience. This pause was deliberate because it seems a strange understanding. As truth surely means truth. Or are we in that period the Bible talks about? If you read Isaiah 5 verse 20, it says, "Woe to them that call evil good and good evil. Woe to them that are wise in their own eyes." Also, 2 Timothy 4 verse 4 says, "And they will turn away their ears from the truth." See, true wisdom comes from God. Man's wisdom is mentioned in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19. "For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight." And also in Proverbs 2 verse 6, this says, "For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding." Jesus said in John 14 verse 6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." If Jesus says he is the truth, then he is either a liar or he is telling the facts, the truth. And it's true. Jesus is truth and he is wisdom. If you ask Jesus into your heart, he will bring truth and wisdom. Then we can make our many life's choices from a position of truth rather than experience and the world's facts. Choose life in Christ.
Some interesting thoughts there. Now we have some great things lined up for next week, which includes our gardening experts on the topic of grasses, and Keith will be in his studio with more recipes. And of course, Alison will be back and forward with all her news. So with that's me done for another week, and it just remains for me to thank all our contributors, including Local Life magazine, our sound editor John Mallett, our presenters Alison, Kevin and Keith, not forgetting of course our producer John Fletcher. So it's goodbye from me, Tony Weiner, until next time. Bye.